You haven't come across this video yet. It's about to be one of the most shocking congressional videos you'll ever see. Click the like button right now and watch until the end, because in 47 seconds you'll see how the career of an FBI director was ruined by a single question. 18 seconds ago, Jim Jordan asked a single question, and the fear on Kash Patel's face was visible to everyone in the room about the Epstein files. But this wasn't an ordinary question. This was an inescapable question that emerged as a result of a 6-week investigation, a 340-page document, and the testimony of a whistleblower. And Patel's facial expression, the panic in his eyes, the tremor in his lips, the sweat on his brow, confessed everything. House Judiciary Committee hearing. January 28th, 2026, 10:47 a.m. It was planned as a routine FBI surveillance session. Medium media interest, standard procedure, predictable questions. Kash Patel arrived at 9:52 with his 3 lawyers. Navy suit, white shirt, red tie. An image reflecting American confidence. The first 2 hours went as expected. Democratic members raised civil rights concerns. Republican members praised the FBI's achievements. Patel gave prepared answers to every question. Ongoing investigation, national security, confidentiality protocols, Washington's standard language. At 10:46 a.m., Committee Chairman Jim Jordan took the floor. Jordan was not a quiet politician, a former wrestling coach, a 30-year congressman, and one of the founders of the Freedom Caucus. A name famous for knowing the answers before you ask your questions. And that day, there was a thin blue file on his desk. Patel saw the file. His eyes were on the file for 3 seconds. Experienced observers noticed Patel's throat muscles contracted. He swallowed. "Director Patel," Jordan said, his voice filling the committee room. He didn't even need a microphone. "I want to talk about the Epstein investigation files, specifically regarding the classification decisions made, especially after you became director." The salon suddenly fell silent. Epstein's questions are always like this, but the tone in Jordan's voice was different. It's not an accusation, not anger, cold, calculated precision. Patel leaned forward slightly. "Congressman, as you know, we have an unprecedented commitment to transparency regarding the Epstein files. We have published over 8,200 pages of previously classified material." 8,200 pages, Jordan said slowly. Then he stopped. 5 seconds of silence. In committee rooms, 5 seconds is a lifetime. "But you reviewed 9,100 pages. Isn't that right, Director?" Patel's right hand went to his tie. "Stress indicator. Congressman, the classification process is complex and a legal process." "Yes or no, Director?" Jordan interjected, his voice sharp and clear. "Did you review the 9,100-page Epstein file?" "Yes, but so that means 900 pages are missing." Jordan opened the blue file. 900 pages that the American people haven't seen. 900 pages, which you personally decided to keep confidential. Patel's 3 lawyers leaned forward simultaneously. It was like a choreographed panic dance. They knew something was coming. "Congressman," said Patel, the first sign of tension in his voice, "individual classification decisions are made by experienced classification experts." Jordan raised a piece of paper, the FBI official document clearly showing the classification markings. "This is the FBI Classification Review Report SC2025847, dated November 12, 2025. With your permission, I will read." Patel's face changed. Confusion, then quick calculation, then fear. Real, pure fear. Jordan began to read, quote, "FBI Director Kash Patel personally blocked the release of Epstein investigation witness statements, overriding standard classification protocol. Despite the classification team's recommendation, Director Patel ordered 127 witness statements to be permanently classified. These statements directly name individuals in positions of political and financial power." Jordan raised his head, his eyes locked on Patel. "Director Patel, you personally kept 127 witness statements confidential, going against the advice of your classification experts. Why?" Patel opened his mouth. "It's closed. It's open again." The word didn't come out. Her hands were clasped on the table with a slight but visible tremor. "Congressman, this report disconnected from the link connection?" Jordan's voice rose. Real anger leaked out for the first time. "Let me give you a link." 127 witnesses, 127 people who witnessed Jeffrey Epstein's crimes. Do you want the connection that you silenced their voices to protect the strong men they named? The salon was buzzing. Democratic members were shocked. Republican members, Jordan's own party, looked uncomfortable. And the media, cameras were zooming. Journalists were taking notes like crazy. Jordan produced a second document. This is an email from FBI Deputy Director Paul Abate to you, dated November 8th, 2025. With your permission. Patel's face was filled with fear. A clear color change in 3 seconds. The cameras caught it. Kash, I strongly object to the decision to classify Epstein's witness statements. These testimonies serve a legitimate public interest, and there are no national security grounds. I am officially documenting my concerns that this decision is politically motivated. Paul Abate, Deputy Director. Jordan stopped. He looked at Patel. He waited. Director Patel, your own assistant director told you this decision was wrong. He said there were no national security grounds. He said it was politically motivated, and you still continue to silence 127 witnesses. Why? Patel's voice came out, muffled. Congressman, we have taken into account Deputy Director Abate's concerns, and you didn't take it into account. Jordan's voice boomed. He hit it happily. You ignored it. And then what happened, Director? Where is Paul Abate now? Silence. I'll tell you where. Jordan said. Paul Abate resigned on November 15th, 2025, exactly 7 days after your decision citing personal reasons. A 32-year career with the FBI Deputy Director, and you drove him away because he told you the truth. One of Patel's lawyers tried to intervene. President, this speculation. Speculation! Jordan held up a third document. This is the letter Paul Abate sent to our office on November 14th. The informant is under protection. Shall I read it? The salon was completely silent. You could hear the sound of the air conditioning. Jordan read, to members of Congress, FBI Director Kash Patel is censoring the Epstein investigation files for political reasons. 127 witness statements were hidden because they only protected powerful figures. Among these witnesses are victims of sexual assault, victims of child trafficking, and individuals who have been waiting for justice for years. By order of Director Patel, these people's voices were silenced. My conscience won't allow this. I'm resigning, but first I'm documenting this truth. Paul Abate. Jordan lifted his head. He looked at Patel. Director Patel, a man with a 32-year FBI career, resigned due to his conscience because you silenced Epstein's victims and protected the powerful. Now I'm going to ask you just one question, and the American people are watching. Witnesses are watching. The victims are watching. Jordan stopped. He looked into Patel's eyes. Who are the 127 witnesses in the statements, Director Patel? Which names are so powerful that they needed to be protected to the point of forcing the FBU's 32-year deputy director to resign? Patel was frozen. His mouth was slightly open. His hands were trembling. Sweat was glistening on his forehead. Everyone in the room could see. The cameras were zooming in. Journalists were taking photos. 10 seconds have passed. Patel didn't answer. 15 seconds. Still silent. 20 seconds. Patel's lawyers were whispering, but Patel couldn't hear anything. Her eyes were locked on Jordan with an expression of desperation, fear, and a desire to be noticed on her face. Jordan spoke, his voice low, but the microphones caught every word. Director Patel, your silence is an answer. This is the answer you gave to the American people. There are some very strong names among those witness statements. They are so powerful that you, as FBI director, chose to protect them, risking your career and losing your 32-year-old assistant. Jordan closed the file. I am submitting a proposal to this committee. I demand that the 127 witness statements be immediately delivered to Congress, and I want a report explaining why Director Patel went against his own classification experts, his own deputy director, and his own conscience. The salon suddenly became angry. Motions, counter-motions, procedural discussions, but none of them were important. What mattered was those 47 seconds. 47 seconds where Jim Jordan asked a single question and Kash Patel couldn't answer. Because the answer to that question was written on Patel's face. Fear, panic, guilt, everything was there. The video clips went viral within 20 minutes. Jordan destroys Patel on Epstein files trended across all social media. News channels interrupted their programs. Legal experts described this as the most explicit confession of guilt, not with words, but with silence. Because Patel's 20 seconds of silence said more than 1,000 words. The Washington Post ran it on the front page the next day. Title: FBI Director Silent on Epstein Witnesses. The New York Times went deeper. He conducted a special interview with Paul Abate. The man, who had a 32-year career with the FBI, said, "I read those testimonies, young women, some of whom were children at the time. They gave the names, they gave the details, and Patel buried them all." Abate continued, "They told me these names are very powerful. I said, is the law on the side of the powerful? They didn't answer. That day I decided to resign." CNN contacted one of the witnesses. He is referred to as Witness 47. He's 28 years old. "She worked at Epstein's New York residence in 2008, when I was 19 years old." Witness 47's lawyer made a statement. "My client testified to the FBI in 2019. He gave a statement for 8 hours. He gave names. He gave dates. The FBI told her, 'Your statement is very important.' 7 years have passed. Nothing happened. Kash Patel marked the statement as confidential. Mirdni siho rambrabo." According to leaked information, who did Witness 47 name? A technology CEO, a former U.S. senator, 2 Wall Street executives, a Hollywood producer, a British businessman. 6 names. And Patel buried the expression to protect those 6 names. There are 127 witnesses. Each one has names, dates, and evidence. It was all hidden under the signature of Kash Patel. That's why Jordan's question was so powerful, because it wasn't just a question. Oh, it was the voice of 127 people. It was the cry of 127 witnesses. We spoke. Why didn't we rest? And Patel's silence was the answer, because the people you named are stronger than you. Fox News, a conservative channel, even criticized it. Tucker Carlson said, "I normally support the FBI, but this is unacceptable. There are 127 witnesses, and the FBI director is silencing them." MSNBC was more critical. Rachel Maddow, 127 women. Most of them were young, some were children. They found the courage to speak. They went to the FBI, and they cut off their voices, because the men who raped were very rich and very powerful. Within 24 hours, 7 more FBI informants came forward. They all told the same story. Patel censored the Epstein files under political orders. The names were very powerful. The victims were very dangerous. The truth had to be kept very secret. Within 48 hours, the Inspector General of the Department of Justice announced that a criminal investigation had been opened. Charges: obstruction of justice, abuse of official power, witness tampering. Within 72 hours, Kash Patel was placed on administrative leave due to the pending investigation, and it all started with a single question from Jim Jordan. "Who are the 127 witnesses in the statements, Director Patel?" It's a simple question. Amma Patel couldn't answer, because answering would be the end of everything. Staying silent was the same. But at least with silence, he could continue to protect the strong. One more day, maybe. But that day, that hour, those 47 seconds, everything changed. Because the American people saw it. There are 127 witnesses. 127 people witnessed Jeffrey Epstein's crimes. They have names, expressions, and evidence. And the FBI director silenced them. Now the question is, who are these 127 witnesses? Who are the powerful men they named? And why did Kash Patel risk his career to protect them? Jim Jordan's question still hangs in the air. Who is in those files, Director? And Patel's silence still echoes. If you watched this video to the end, you understood how deep the truth is. Don't forget to press the like button and share your thoughts in the comments. Which names do you think are in those 127 witness statements? Don't forget to subscribe, because this story is just beginning. The Epstein files, Patel's silence, and Washington's darkest secrets follow it all. 47 seconds, just one question, the end of an FBI director. Sometimes justice doesn't require lengthy investigation. Sometimes it's enough for just the right person to ask the right question at the right time. Jim Jordan asked. Kash Patel couldn't answer, and the truth was hidden in that silence.